Good morning. During the 10 years between 2008 and 2018 makes it a decade. And I'm finding the actors and actresses who acted at the Old Town Playhouse in Traverse City, Michigan, and giving them a memory in a video for their family members, children, and especially to them, so they can look back standing on their theater stage. And this time is actress Lesley Tye.
And very motivated agent, and she and Mitchell have been together for a long time.
7 years.
7 years, and they have been really working to make him like the next huge star. He's getting some awards, he's getting some some good roles, but he's not quite. He doesn't have any franchises. He doesn't have any parts where he's playing Batman or something like that. He doesn't have that yet, and so she's really working hard. She really is banking on him as being her like Tom Cruise, right? Her big star. So that's why she's so driven to make sure that she doesn't care.
So she protects him.
She's trying to protect him and like make sure that he gets go where he wants to be, and she doesn't care necessarily whether he has gets a rent boy, but she wants him to keep it quiet. Current case of homosexuality informs me that as his date, are you possibly seated for this? As his date to this award ceremony, he would like to bring his mother, so that no one will know that he's gay.
I'm Tyson. I'm Blake Mitchell.
Right.
And we come to New York from LA because that's what actor types do.
You're getting an award.
Yeah.
Your character gets an award.
You come to get an award, come to buy a play, and she has been all about trying to find these ways to get him out there, to make sure that the good people want him in their movies, that the people lust after him, that there is the love from the American public. And she is, as she said before, very concerned that that's not going to happen if he is an outed homosexual. Mm-hmm. And so, he knows that that's probably the best thing for him as well, if he decides that he wants to continue with this whole life of fame and fortune. So he tries to keep it on the back burner as best he can, but I think love has a way of getting away from you. And every now and then you make a connection that you don't really anticipate, and that's kind of what you get to see in the show. Is you get to see this connection between two people that aren't 100% certain how they feel about it. Someone who wants to stay in the closet because he doesn't want people to know he's gay, and a character that might not necessarily be too concerned in the gigolo. He's not too concerned about necessarily what someone's going to think of him personally, but he has his own life that he needs to be worried about and getting too attached, especially to a client.
Scotch and loneliness and independence, and do you see where I'm going with this?
Oh.
So if you could just,
Oh, I see.
you can take something from the cart if you're hungry.
No. Actually, I'm not hungry at all.
What brought you to direct the show?
I'd actually seen it, 5 years ago now or so. It was done by the Performance Network down in Ann Arbor. And I had heard a little bit about it. I'm a big enough of a theater nerd that I almost always watch the Tonys. And the gal that played Diane won a Tony Award that year. And I just remember hearing about the show, and then I saw little clips, especially of Diane's stuff, and I just fell in love with it. So when I got an opportunity to go see it with my old college roommate, we went down, and I didn't really know what I was getting into. I wasn't sure what this show was about.
At what stage in the process did you feel that way? Right from the very beginning? Or
Right from the beginning. Oh yeah, it was one of those. I'd seen snippets here and there, but never really had the full picture. Didn't know too much about the story. Knew enough to know that I liked it because Douglas Carter Bean also wrote a movie that I love, which is 2 Wong Fu Things for Everything Julie Newmar. So I was like, okay, I already like his writing, so let's see what his play is like. And so I sat in the theater and I watched this show, and curtain call came, I stood, I clapped, I cheered, I was crying, I was laughing, I didn't know what to make of myself. And then I sat back down and I stayed there for 10 minutes until the ushers kicked me out because I had to process. And it was this huge process for me to sit there and walk after the show and just try to come to terms with what I'd seen and what I'd experienced as an audience member. And I just knew that if this show ever became available at the Playhouse, that I'd want to put in to direct it because I just loved it so much.
Do you want to be my uncle or not?
Is there paperwork?
No.
Then I'll be your uncle.
Because if you don't want a scene, then
I have no idea what is going on here.
Playing a gay character and playing a gay character in a situation like this where it's very out there. It's very showing it to the audience. This is not something I say I'm gay. This is something that I show that I'm gay. So it actually is my first time doing anything like that.
Right.
And they asked me when I was reading, like, are you comfortable being in a homosexual relationship on stage? And I'm like, yeah. And I read it, I'm like, wow, this is really intense, but this is going to be really good.
This is going to be very interesting to see how the audiences are going to embrace this play. Because especially with these being real relationships, just not the silly stuff that they show in a lot of sitcoms and whatnot. But this could be very kind of for some people.
It could switch some people.
Yeah.
It could.
But you know what? That's a good thing for them. That's good. That's good for them to be a little uncomfortable and
Sometimes
stuff.
that's what theater needs to
That's
be.
what theater's about.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't, through the rehearsal process, my goal was never to try and be a people pleaser with the show. I'm well aware there's plenty of people that come to the Old Town Playhouse and love everything we do, and I'm well aware some of those people could come to this and hate it.
This is one of those shows that I don't know who's originally said this quote, but it's a type of show that's supposed to comfort the disturbed and disturb the comfortable.
Nothing for no money, something for little or no visibility. And now all of Hollywood wants his meaning, his play.
Of course, it's about 2 men in love. They're going to want to change that.
Rewrite it. Congratulations!
Good for you.
No, it's been a very pleasant experience. There were, I'm glad we got it. She did a good job of easing us into it. You know, first time you do everything with your clothes on, and then you hang out with your clothes off. So she did a good job of easing us into it.
There we go.
Yeah. And brilliant. And
Get that out of there.
and she did a really good job.
I'll
of
edit that out.
Yeah, exactly. And no, she did a great job of kind of working us into it, and she was very aware of people's comfort levels, and I think that was really critical and something to be applauded, because that's not easy to do.
Your actors,
Mhm.
their comfort level.
Yes. And actually, usually they were more comfortable with things than I was. Like, there were moments where it's like, you don't, it's fine. If you guys don't want to do the kiss right now, it's fine. We're just blocking it. You don't need, and they were both like, oh, screw it. I was like, okay, well.
We got this. It's okay. It's gonna happen at some point. Let's go.
I'm fine with that, I suppose. And so it was always, because I was trying to tread very carefully, so I wasn't overstepping bounds, trying to let them establish relationships. Because Tyson and Derek had never met before this show. So it was like, there are two strangers, and then it's like, I want you to make out.
Is this a receipt?
No. My number. My cell. You shouldn't be calling up rent boys when you're not sober. You could get fucking old, dude.
What would you like to see the audiences that come to see this play walk away thinking about?
I want them to walk away and think about what it means to be in love and what they're willing to have and to not have for that love and for that standard of beauty. What is that to them? And I hope they laugh, they leave chuckling about funny moments, and I hope they leave deeply thinking about those serious, poignant moments. And I hope they just have a lot of fun, because it's a fun show.
Now, when you were both cast for the show at the auditions, did you ever think that you were going to be in bed with your director?
No, that never occurred in my mind.
I knew for sure it was going to happen at some point.
Apparently I didn't know them well enough.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to see the show. It's opening when?
We open this Friday, February 1st, curtains at 7:30.
And goes until when?
We go until February 16th.
Fantastic. Thank you, Etsy. Thank you, Leslie.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mitchell. You are so in character. I just know you by Mitchell.
Sorry, I don't have a member's mark on.
Tyson.
Tyson.